Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Glow by Sana. Today I have for you this sultry smoky look, also a review for the Marc Jacobs new Accomplice concealer. They have recently sent it to me and they asked me to review it. If you guys want to find out if I liked it, if it is worth every penny, if it was easy to apply, then continue to watch. You can see my eyebrows are done. I've used the Dip Brow Pomade by ABH. So the foundation that I'm using is Too Faced Born This Way in the shade Vanilla. I love this foundation. I can wear it any day, every day. It's just that I try not to put a lot of it. I just put a thin layer of this foundation because especially in summers, because I know that I'll be going over with concealer, cream contour and whatnot. So I try not to put a lot of it. Then again, there is really nothing wrong with the foundation itself. It's definitely buildable, and as you can see, a little goes a long way. Here what I'm doing is I'm just trying to blend in my foundation using a damp beauty blender so there are no more streaks left behind with the foundation brush. And that's all I'm doing here. Guys, you should never forget your neck. Always put a little bit of foundation on your neck as well and then blend it in. This is Sigma's Precision Flat Angle Brush, which I'll be using for my contouring. I've taken Anastasia Beverly Hills Cream Contour Kit in medium, and I've taken the shade Cinnamon, and I'm using it to contour my face. And I don't know why in the camera it's looking really orange, but in reality it is not that warm. It is a very nice, it has a little bit of warmth but not that much. So yeah. Using a damp beauty blender, I'm gonna be blending in all of my contour from cheeks, nose and forehead. From the same contour kit, I'm gonna be taking the shade Cream, and I'm just gonna be using it to prime my eyelids for the eyeshadows. If you guys own this palette, this kit, you guys should really make the most use out of it. You can even cut your creases with it. You can use it for your concealer and so many other things. It's a really wonderful palette. I've still not applied the concealer, but I'm just setting my eyelids using some powder. You can really use any powder. I'm using MAC Studio Fix. For some reason my camera refused to zoom in. I'm using the Birch shade from Anastasia Beverly Hills Sultry palette. It is a soft brown shade. And now I have taken the shade Twig. It's a very pretty soft brown eyeshadow on you, and I'm using Morphe's pencil brush. I will list the number down below of that brush, and I'm just applying it on the outer corner of my eyes, and I'm just blending it outwards, as you can see. I'm doing the same thing with the other eye. I'm just trying to keep it more on the outer V of my eye. On a similar pencil brush, I've taken the shade Dystopian, and I'm applying it again on the outer V of my eyes, and I'm just trying to blending it outwards again. Now this eyeshadow palette has all the pretty cool toned brown shades, which I really like, and it's kind of hard to find in any other palette, and usually you end up with a warm transition shade. Pearl was screaming from the palette, and oh my god, it is so pigmented. You do not need any Fix Plus. You do not need to wet your brush or your finger to apply this beautiful foil shadow. It's a very pretty silvery champagne kind of a color, and it is extremely pigmented, and as you apply it, it just blends in and it melts in more on your eyes. I then went ahead and took the shade Cinder, and I just applied it in the middle of my lid, right in the middle, just because I wanted to give it some dimension. And oh my god, the shade is also so pretty. I'm obsessed with all of the shades so far. I'm like really impressed. And not that I've not used this palette before, but I've never used the foil shadows, and now that I'm using it, I'm loving it more and more. So that's Cinder right there. On a tiny precise blending brush by Morphe, I've taken the shade Noir, and I'm applying it on the outer V of my eye just because I wanted to smoke it out more, because I'm not going to be going with the liner today, so I really want that smoke out effect without liner. A similar blending brush, I've taken the shade Bloom, and I'm applying it on my transition area, and there is a reason why this shade is there. It really combined the whole eyeshadow look together. I love how this shade is the only kind of a pink in the whole palette, and it is gorgeous. Back with the lash. Thank you, Marc Jacobs, for sending me the concealer. I'm so happy. Rolls. Here's the new Marc Jacobs concealer, Accomplice. My shade is light 23. Look at the packaging, guys. It's beautiful. I found it easier to apply this concealer with a flat brush. This is by Real Techniques and it's very inexpensive. And I found this concealer to be extremely buttery, extremely creamy. And not that just because they sent it to me. Honestly, I loved how it is so buildable, so creamy. It for sure blends it like a dream. I am gonna be going over with a beauty blender, but for now you can see how easy it is to apply. I felt like I need to apply it all over my face. It was so lightweight and it was really easy for me to, it was just gliding on the skin like a butter. It is really nice and I love this shade. I love my concealers to be lighter and brighter. Why not use it on my nose as well? So I just applied a thin line, I would say, on my nose, and then I just went ahead with my beauty blender and I blended it in just to highlight the bridge of my nose, and you can see it looks pretty nice. It is definitely approved by me. It's worth every penny. Thank you so much, Marc Jacobs, an influencer, for sending it to me. I will be using it a lot more in future. Just to enhance my contour, I've taken this Hoola bronzer and I'm using Real Techniques powder brush to, just define my contour. I've taken the shade Rock as my blush. Taken the shade Pearl again on a small, precise brush and I'm applying it in the inner corners of my lower lash line. Again, I'm using the shade Dystopian and I'm using this flat angled brush by Morphe and I'm applying it on the outer V's of my lower lash line, as you can see. And I'm just trying not to blend it a lot and trying to be very precise with this shade. To give my eyes a very sultry look, I decided to apply this Urban Decay Glide On pencil in the shade Gold and I applied it on my waterline and you can see it just gave my eyes a very soft, sultry, pretty look. I love my Jeffree Star King Tut highlighter and I'm applying it using Sigma's fan brush on the apples of my cheeks. I'm really trying to make sure that the center of my face is very well highlighted. I've recently started doing that and I love it. It just keeps my face very dewy throughout the day. Here I'm applying Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipstick in the shade Stripped. And it's a very pretty nude shade and I love it because I have tons of nude, I swear, but trust me, every nude is different than other and I don't know. This has to be one of my most favorite nude shades from high-end brands. From drugstore, I will share in the future videos. And that's it. My final thoughts on the concealer is definitely worth buying. I love it. I love how it applied. I love how it stayed. And I love how I did not need to use any setting powder. And that was one of the things that I wanted to do. I really did not want to use any setting powder. Also, the Sultry palette that I did not use in my videos before, surprisingly, I love how it turned out. Thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to subscribe.